Today, I want to talk about the magic number 108, why it's so magical and powerful, and how you can tap into this magic and use this number to manifest your dream life. Stay with me. Welcome back to Choosing Gratitude. I'm Karen from ChoosingGratitude.net, and on this channel, we talk about everything related to manifesting and attracting your dream life. If you're new here, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and let's manifest our dream lives by choosing gratitude. The other day, I saw a very interesting comment under one of my YouTube videos. It's from Ed Malouf, and he said that I'm trying to understand why exactly 108 times. Every video I see about Ho'oponopono is 108 times. Why not even 100? Why not round up to 110? What is the meaning of 108? Can somebody please explain? All right, that is a really interesting question. I think the question goes beyond why you do Ho'oponopono 108 times. The question is really about the power of 108. First of all, if you are in this community of law of attraction, spirituality, manifesting, you must see life through a different lens. Meaning, in your life, okay, things shouldn't be just things. Numbers shouldn't be just numbers. Everything for you has to be energy, vibration, and frequency. Everything you see and touch in this physical reality, even though they may look static, they may look dense, but guess what? They don't stay the same way forever, right? There is no real static object in our universe. Everything is basically a form created by different energies and vibrations. Therefore, different numbers also vibrate different energy, right? So 108 is a very powerful number because it vibrates a specific kind of energy that no other numbers vibrate. It's very similar to like singing. Think about it. When you sing, right? You have to sing the exact right note. When your note is off, it just sounds really weird to the ear, and you could be just tiny little bit off, but guess what? The song comes out differently. That's the difference between us amateur singers and professional singers, right? The professional singers can stay on key. They're always precisely accurate, and when you are vibrating to manifest, it's exactly the same way. It takes practice to vibrate at the right energy, the right vibration. It takes training. That's why a lot of people say, well, I do this technique, I do that technique, I meditate, how come I don't manifest? My answer to you is that your energy has to be very precise, and that can only be felt through a lot of practice, a lot of training. And these numbers like 108, they are perfect guides to help us understand if we are on track or if we are off track. 108 is actually a divine power trigger in both Buddhism and Hinduism, and it's also often referenced in martial arts because they're also based on these Eastern philosophies, right? One of the living Buddhist masters from Sri Lanka, his name is Bhante G, and he actually went into great depth about how this number 108 came about. We have 6 senses, right? What are the 6 senses according to Buddhism? They are sight, hearing, tasting, smell, and touch, and consciousness, okay? So these are the only 6 ways we get to know our physical reality. I'm talking about this physical reality that we know that most of us are trapped in, right? So according to Master Bhante G, there are 3 states in each of the feelings. The feelings could be painful or pleasant or neutral. There could be only 3 ways, right? At any given moment, when you feel something, right? The feeling is usually one of the 6 senses colored by one of the 3 states, right? In reality, we have 18 states of feelings, right? It's 6 senses times 3. That's 18. Now this math gets a little bit more complicated, so stay with me. We know that these feelings could either be internally originated or coming from outside of us. So they could be either internal or external. What does that mean? You know, when you touch a hot stove, that's an external feeling, right? You get an external feeling of pain. It's a painful touch feeling, right? So that's how you put these three dimensions together. So if you multiply the 18 states of feelings by 2, we get 36 kinds of feeling states now, right? Because each feeling could have 3 states, and each state of feeling could have 2 origins. Now this is gonna get even more wild. Stay with me. Each of these 36 feeling states, whether they are internal or external, they could come from the past or present or future. So there's 3 time dimensions to each feelings. Now you time 36 by 3, what do you get? You get 108. So think about it. If you look at all the possible possibilities of any time, of any given time, how we feel, how we experience our world, we get 108 options. Meaning, you know, this world could operate with us in 108 ways. And if you could transcend these 108 ways, you are free from this reality and you are free to manifest. Isn't that crazy? And we also have other interesting facts from traditional Eastern philosophy, like, in martial art, I heard that a lot of the systems are based on 108 moves. You know, in acupuncture, they say that our body has 108 acupressure points. The same thing is in Ayurveda. You see, all of that Eastern traditions are pointing to us that there are these 108 energy gates that are around us. They, in a way, trap us in this reality. And if we could transcend them, if we can become free, break free from these 108 energy gates, we are one with the universe. And I'm not saying that we're not one with the universe exactly right here, right now, okay? That's not what I mean. What I mean is that you have to transcend how your ego experiences reality. And how your ego does that is through these 108 energy gates. That's why the number 108 is extremely, extremely powerful. I do a lot of astrology, especially Chinese astrology readings for my clients. And after reading hundreds of charts, I'm convinced that we are all born with a certain kind of energy blueprints. It's like, these 108 energy gates, they have endless ways to present themselves to keep up in this reality. And in a way, our astrological chart is just a map of where these gates are located, okay? So if you're trapped in this reality, you can get 100 million readings. The readings can only tell you where these energy gates are, meaning the ups and downs of your life. However, listen to this. If you could transcend these 108 gates, what's gonna happen? You are not even going to be bounded by your astrology chart, okay? And you might be asking me, well, Karen, I just want to get more money. I just want to manifest my dream house. Now let's talk about how exactly you can leverage the power of 108 to manifest what you want. I hope by this time you already understand that you must transcend your ego. You have to go beyond your ego in order to manifest anything. So you can either use a mantra, which I have talked about on my channel. I'll link some videos up there. Or you could use an affirmation if you're not comfortable with mantras. And no matter what you choose, you chose a vehicle to manifest, right? The most important thing is still your connection to the universe and transcending your ego, okay? So now once you have decided whether you're going to use mantras or affirmations, make sure that when you are repeating that thing 108 times, you're also loosely thinking about what you're manifesting. You don't have to be super intense. Just, once in a while, you think about, this is my manifestation goal. That's enough, okay? So then you start your session by asking the universe to help you transcend your ego. That is very, very important, because if you don't ask for help, the universe is not going to help you. So open yourself to the magic of the universe. Open yourself to divine help. That's step 1. Step 2 is to use your mantra or affirmation 108 times while loosely thinking about your desire. And step 3 is to sit in a few moments of silence. And if you want, it's better to probably end with a meditation session. But if you don't have the time to meditate, at least sit in silence for a few moments. And then I want you to simply thank the universe for everything you've been asking for. Because gratitude offered in advance of your manifestation is always calling for the physical manifestation of your desire, okay? So make sure you remember that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I will see you in the next video.